Today we are hosting Ms. Raluca. She's the coordinator of Youth at Work. Welcome, Raluca.
Hi, Aitach. So good to be here. Thank you so much for having me. I will start by introducing myself. I'm Raluca Diroescu and I am based in Paris, in France. And since January 2018, I have been coordinating the Youth at Work partnership on youth employability and entrepreneurship of Erasmus Plus national agencies.
Our main target group who are watching this video, they are the youth workers. How did you start?
Well, I started by being a beneficiary of youth work. I'm not a youth worker, but I have been a participant in, first of all, in a youth exchange. I started with volunteering when I was still a student. And also I did in 2007, my first youth exchange in Turkey. In 2007.
The city?
Kırşehir.
Kırşehir, that's great.
Yes, yes. It was the beginning of Youth in Action, the first year of Youth in Action. And this is how I discovered Youth in Action, the program of the European Union supporting youth and education and sports. And then I did another youth exchange and I kind of became passionate about it. I understood what the program was all about and I understood what youth work is all about. And I realized that I wanted to do more. So I continued by studying European policies and programs. And then I ended up in Brussels, where I worked for the European Commission.
Young people from our region, they're also participating in this kind of youth exchanges. They're asking to youth workers, what will happen after this youth exchange? And you are a really good model for them.
But here you go. You know, I come from the countryside in Romania. I'm Romanian. I had no idea that opportunities like this existed. And I found out by accident through back in the day, it was a Yahoo group, if you know what that, you remember.
I remember, I was also the member of these mail groups.
Yes, exactly. So I received randomly this announcement that they were looking for young people to participate. I was 21 years old and I didn't know exactly where I was heading. I was a student. I was very much focused on my studies, but I didn't know what I was going to do afterwards. You know, like a lot of people are facing nowadays. They are students and they are worried about their future. They are worried that they don't have enough competencies. They don't have enough people that they know that could support them. And I was in the same situation. I felt lost. And when I joined this youth exchange, I had no idea that this would be the first step that I took in the direction of my professional dreams and my dreams in general. So sometimes you just need to take a chance. You know, it's good to have a plan, to know that if I do this, this will lead me there. But being spontaneous and giving opportunities like this a chance is also a very good way to discover who you are and where you're headed.
It's a great story, which starts from Kırşehir. This is also nice for us. So maybe Raluca, you can also mention about this Youth at Work partnership.
Sure. Especially because Youth at Work is a platform that can support a lot of youth workers and professionals working for and with young people. So basically, Youth at Work is a strategic alliance between 15 Erasmus Plus national agencies and Salto Youth Resource Centers that supports youth employability and entrepreneurship through a variety of activities that are basically knowledge sharing, capacity building, and networking activities that are funded directly through a specific budget line of the Erasmus Plus and European Solidarity Core programs that Erasmus Plus national agencies receive to organize capacity building activities to prepare current and potential beneficiaries of these programs from the programs in the future. So Youth at Work is an alliance that focuses on one of the priorities of the programs, that is youth employability and entrepreneurship.
Could you give some examples for us, a youth worker, how they can support the entrepreneurial part of the young people? What kind of activities that the youth workers can do?
Well, youth workers can do much more than they imagine. Let's say that you are a youth worker, you have never worked on the topic of entrepreneurship, and you are a bit scared of the term, because to you it sounds like something that business-oriented people do.
Definitely, for me, it's like a business terminology, entrepreneurship, incubator centers.
Yes, and actually for me too, at the beginning, even though I'm not a youth worker, I'm not business educated, it was kind of scary because I felt that I was actually questioning the work that we could do, the contribution that we could give. Are we actually able to approach such a complicated, what seems to be a complicated topic? And what we did was we started by demystifying, by looking at what entrepreneurship really means. And we realized that entrepreneurship is not only about setting up a business, being entrepreneurial in your daily life, having competencies that enable you to be a better citizen, to be a better person, a better employee, or potentially to set up your own venture, be it a business or a social enterprise or even an NGO. We also realized that entrepreneurship is not only for the privileged young people, like you would think. If you want to be an entrepreneur, you need to have money, you need to have connections, you need to have education, you need to have a lot of resources that the target group of youth workers doesn't really have, because youth workers, and our audience knows very well, youth workers are mainly working with young people that don't have all the opportunities that the elites, as we call them, do. Youth workers work with young people with fewer opportunities, mainly, and special needs. And we realize that when these young people can be encouraged, and especially these young people need to be encouraged to develop their entrepreneurship competencies and need to be supported to give entrepreneurship, why not, setting up their own, not necessarily companies, but maybe NGOs or different kind of structures. This would support them to be happier in their lives and to do something to contribute to society and to their communities specifically.
Definitely, you are totally right about it. As far as we know, also the European Commission, they published the competence framework for the entrepreneurship, which is called Entrecom, how youth workers can use it.
Yes, I can say a few things about Entrecom because it is one of our priorities. Its promotion is one of our priorities, together with other competence frameworks that were developed by the European Commission based on the 8 key competencies for lifelong learning that the Commission published a few years ago. So Entrecom was developed by the Joint Research Center of the European Commission a few years ago, mainly because Joint Research Center understood that entrepreneurship competencies were very poorly understood. People didn't know, like we were just talking, people didn't know what entrepreneurship was all about and what entrepreneurship competencies were all about. This competence framework is actually aiming to explain very clearly to professionals working on the topic, but also to people in general, what entrepreneurship competencies are all about. So Entrecomp is based on 15 competencies that you can see. If you Google it, you will discover a lovely flower that explains all these 15 competencies that are actually divided into 3 fields of, let's say, areas, competence areas. And these competence areas are into action, opportunities, and there's another one, resources. Yes, exactly.
I'm a youth worker from Turkey. How can I participate in events of the youth at work?
Well, it's not very difficult to have access to the opportunities that are offered by the Youth at Work partnership. The only, let's say, requirement would be for you to speak English for the time being, because we are also going in the direction of organizing more activities in the national language. But for the time being, our activities are transnational. The language that we are using is English. So you need to be more or less proficient in English in order to talk with the other youth workers, exchange, and why not develop future partnerships. So in order to participate, because what we do mainly is organizing events all over Europe and partner neighboring regions, because Youth at Work, as I said, has 15 members, 11 Erasmus Plus national agencies, and we also have 2 regional saltos that are part of Youth at Work that cover the Western Balkan area and also Eastern Europe and Caucasus. So our activities are happening in these countries and regions, and our participants come from all these countries and regions, but also from all the other countries of the European Union, because our events are open to everyone who can benefit from Erasmus Plus and European Solidarity Corps. So first of all, you need to have access to, I would encourage you to follow us on social media, because we are present on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube. So whenever we have an opportunity, whenever there's an open call, you can see the offer posted on our social media and also on our website. I think that iTouch will put the links in the description of the video, so you will be able to see all that. And I strongly invite you to follow us and to check out our website. And then you simply need to apply. So let's say that you identify an event that meets your expectations and it's exactly what you're looking for, something that will improve your competencies and will widen your network. So just apply. And you as Turkish youth workers, your application will be assessed by the Erasmus Plus National Agency for Turkey, and they will see if you are competent enough, if you are motivated enough also to participate. And if you are selected, then you will be able to be fully funded in order to participate in our events. So this is our, let's say, the main opportunity that we offer. But we also have a website and the social media channels that I was telling you about. And we try to publish, we have blog posts that we publish regularly that you can read in order to discover what other youth workers are doing in Turkey and other countries. You will also, if you're wondering about specific topics that are related to youth employability and entrepreneurship, you will find some very interesting articles about those topics, because I forgot to say that Youth at Work has 10 priorities that all the events are actually targeting. So these priorities are related to youth employability and entrepreneurship, and they are social inclusion, women's economic empowerment and entrepreneurship, competence development, social entrepreneurship, youth employability, environmental awareness and sustainable development, and the promotion of Antracomp and Digicomp among youth workers, as well as volunteering and solidarity. So our events are focused on these priorities, and also the blog post that you can find on our website and also other publications, because if you check out the website, you will see links to Antracomp, links to Digicomp. Also, we will post links to other competence frameworks developed by the European Commission, like GreenComp and LifeComp. We'll also post that. You will discover all this wealth of opportunities that we have on our channels. Youth at Work is basically a strategy. The strategy of Erasmus Plus national agencies focuses on how youth work and European Solidarity Corps and Erasmus Plus programs can support youth employability and entrepreneurship, and how they can work hand in hand with the other actors of the youth employability and entrepreneurship ecosystem. Because Youth at Work is also that. It's not only about youth work. It is a cross-sectoral partnership. And this is also something that I would like to emphasize. If you participate in one of our events, you are not only going to meet youth workers. Actually, our target group are all the actors of the youth employability and entrepreneurship ecosystem. So if you participate in our events, you will be able to meet your peers, so other youth workers working at the national, local, or international level, but also representatives of the public sector. We have people from municipalities, ministries, different departments working at the national level or regional or local level, but also representatives of the private sector. So we have people from different businesses, social enterprises, accelerators, incubators, as well as representatives of formal education. We have academics, people working in universities, different departments of the universities, people from vocational education and training, VET, upper secondary education, so high schools, also having youth work programs in their institutions. So yeah, this is really a wealth of experience that you are going to have access to, and a great opportunity to expand your network and meet people from your country or from other countries that you wouldn't meet otherwise.
Suggestions.
Yes. Don't give up. Yes, this is what I would say, because I know it's difficult sometimes. It's difficult to find the right resources. Also, the competition for the European funds is quite high. There are and that's great to have such a big community of youth workers, but at the same time, it also means that the competition for the European funds, the ones that are offered by Erasmus Plus or European Solidarity Corps, is quite high. So I think this is a very good push in the direction of a better quality of the work that you are doing. Because if you know that there are other people out there doing more or less the same thing and working hard to get the same funds that you're also hoping to get, then this would be a push for you to do even a better work, to make sure that the work that you are doing is really relevant and responds to the needs of the young people that you work with. Because in the end, all the work that youth workers are doing is for the benefit of young people. So make sure that you remain close to your target groups, that you understand what they want, and always adapt the type of work that you're doing to their needs.
Thank you very much, Raluca, for participation to our interview series, and it was great to host you.
Thank you, Aytaç. It was such a pleasure.